After the U.S. Declaration of Independence in 1776, a similar declaration was signed in 1789 in France, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen. The Declaration of the Rights of Man, as daughter of the French Revolution, broke out in 1789. Let's now focus on its historical background. Society was divided into three main classes: nobility, clergy, and the third estate. This one was excluded from politics. During this period, the lowest classes were struggling with an economic crisis. People were literally starving due to drought and prices increase, aggravated by the enormous expenses incurred in wars. Peasants and craftsmen allied themselves, and the French Revolution finally broke out. First of all, the Bastille, which was essentially a prison, was attacked and its prisoners were released. The king, Louis XIV, did not react. He did not realize that the revolution had just started. At the beginning of October of the same year, Palace of Versailles was surrounded by angry crowds. During this occasion, the king signed the Declaration of the Human Rights, making it official. In July 1789, in fact, the National Constituent Assembly entrusted a special commission of 5 members the creation of a constituent charter based on the Enlightenment model and on the American Declaration of Rights. Enlightenment was an intellectual movement that conceived revolutionary ideas. It dealt with scientific discoveries, for example, the telescope by Galileo Galilei, and politics. They were interested in a more equal and greater society. This thought is also observable in the French motto. Who was then the actual creator of the charter? Well, the declaration itself was based on a text written by the Marquis Lafayette, helped by Thomas Jefferson. At first, it was discussed in the Assembly. Some of its members thought that the government needed changes but considered the charter unnecessary. Some of its members had different ideas. They thought, in fact, that the government had to have explicit limitation to preserve the human freedom. The Declaration sanctions plenty of principles. The principle of popular sovereignty. This principle is found in the 3rd article of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and affirms that the sovereignty is not present in the nation but in the people. In fact, no individual can exercise an activity that doesn't come from it. Principle of tolerance. This principle is found in Article 10 and refers to the fact that the state must guarantee religious peace based on moral laws but without intervening too much in religious matters. Principle of freedom of expression. This principle is found in Article 11 and asserts that every citizen can speak, write, print freely, obviously without abusing this freedom in cases determined by law, because the free expression of thoughts and opinion is one of the most precious rights of man. Principle of innocence. According to this Article 9, every man is innocent until he is judged guilty. If it is considered to arrest him, the law must ensure his person by avoiding means that could cause him harm. Principle of mildness of punishment. In this article, the mild way in which a penalty should be presented is pointed out. A punishment must be human, not too severe, because crimes multiply tortures and new tortures generate new crimes. Proportionate to the nature of the crime, in fact, if moderate, they can be effective. Same for everyone. Acted without any judicial arbitration, because the only judge's duty is to pronounce the penalty, not to judge the fact, with educational purposes. Let's focus on the 2 most important articles of the Declaration, the first article and the second one. The first article is important because we found 2 of the 3 principles which are part of the French national motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. The liberty and equality of man are protected in the paper. In fact, men are born and remain free and equal in their rights. The second article of the Declaration is irrelevant. The goal of any political association is the conservation of the natural and imprescriptible rights of man. These rights are liberty, property, safety, and resistance against oppression. The major innovation is the introduction of these rights and right of happiness, which distinguish this document from the previous ones. But we must say that not all the citizens were included. For this reason, we can divide the citizenship in two groups: active citizens and passive citizens. Active citizenship was granted to men who were French, at least 25 years old, paid taxes equal to 3 days' work, and could not be defined as servants. This means that at the time of the declaration, only male property owners held these rights. On the other hand, there were the passive citizens, people that had been excluded from political rights of the declaration. These groups included women, slaves, children, and foreigners. Tensions arose between active and passive citizens throughout the revolution. Above all, women had an important role and they had to fight to aid their rights recognized.